I just wanted to make mention that I'm not in a big hurry today. I'm going to be evicted on the 7th. Yes. I'm scheduled to go to court on the 12th for the last 18 months worth of court hearings. Yes. Because the police department, yes, on the 31st of July, accepted this as a valid protection order when I didn't receive actual notice of the hearings because everybody uses some bullshit excuse that I'm mentally ill. Now, I've talked to a number of officers, and they seem to think that if it says, yes, on page one, that the respondent had actual notice, and page one, says the respondent did not receive actual notice, it's not silent. I didn't get actual notice. Now, I don't know how police departments interpret the law about what is true and correct, yes, but one fraudulent statement on a court order invalidates it. Now, it doesn't take really a rocket scientist, yes, to figure out that if it says respondent did not receive actual notice of the hearing, yes, and the court order says the respondent did receive actual notice of the court of the hearing, yes. Well, obviously there's a lie here someplace. Now, the Port Angeles Police Department, how many officers, right? Let's say you arrested me. You said I was in Sequim, Washington when I wasn't. But you wouldn't admit the evidence that I wasn't there. And then I send you, 500,000 emails. And every time I include some videos that explain crime. Yes. Now, for every individual that you question about their involvement in crime, yes, do you believe them if they lie to you and you know what they are saying is a lie? Because that Miranda rights, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be, will be held against you in a court of law. Yes. Let's say, yes, on July 31st of 2015, the Port Angeles Police Department accepted as true and lawful anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Now, I would think that the first cardinal rule of police investigations is when you question, yes, the accused about where they were, yes, what they were doing, yes, and their involvement in the allegation of any crime. And for every individual that thought, well, I'm going to lie my ass off and the police won't, they won't believe a word of it. I've never been a police officer before, but if I had the policing authority available to me to arrest people for the allegation of crime, the first false statement that they make to me would cause me to believe that they are lying. And if they're lying, then they're trying to cover up something. And as a possible police officer in the United States of America, having one fraudulent statement that says the respondent had actual notice, when page one says the respondent did not receive actual notice because there's not a little X right there, okay? Now, I don't know how many police officers I've emailed in other cities where you said, well, the guy's crazy. Well, you can read the fucking thing for yourself and see that it's a lie. Now, do you believe that I need a mental health evaluation? Yes. When it says, in prohibit weapons, yes, the first restraint provision is ordered above, and the court found on page one that the respondent had actual notice. Well, on page one, it says the respondent did not receive actual notice of the hearing. So who do you believe? The court or the individual that you issued the. Well, it seems, right, that police officers have a difficult time believing that courts could lie. Now, let's look at it. Who's the real mentally ill individual? The one that tells the truth or the court that lies about, I think you're mentally ill for lying. I didn't lie. Your own court order says that I received notice when I didn't. Yes. So somebody is lying, and it's not the respondent that needs a mental fucking health evaluation. So why don't you as a police department, yes, why don't you fact check everything that's in this? Yes, because as I understand it, yeah, you can't issue a court order for 10 years. Yes, you can't say that somebody received actual notice when they didn't. No, no, you can't. You can't issue a court order where there's no actual signature of the petitioner. Yes. You can't issue a court order where there's no state court seal. Yes. And where it's not the actual signature of the individual. You can't issue a court order when there is anything on the actual order that is not true or correct. I would say and correct. So why don't you as a police department read the fucking